Today we're going to start off with chapter number 9, which is Introduction to Economic Fluctuations. For this particular chapter, I'm going to make use of PowerPoint slides. अगर आप टॉपिक को ज़रा गौर से देखें तो आपको अंदाज़ा हो जाना चाहिए कि in this particular chapter we're going to study about short-term economic fluctuations. We're going to study about what are these economic fluctuations, what causes these fluctuations, and what can the government do to reduce these fluctuations in the economy. Economic fluctuations जो है ना, they induce uncertainty in the economy. So that is why government की intervention यहाँ बनती है, so that they can stabilize the economy or so that they can reduce the economic fluctuations in the economy. So in this particular chapter, first of all, I'm going to re-emphasize the difference between the short run and the long run. Macroeconomics में short run और long run की distinction समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है. और उसके बाद जो है ना, we're going to develop a model for aggregate demand, and then we're going to independently develop the aggregate supply model. और आप ये देखेंगे कि aggregate supply का model जो है ना, it looks different in the short run versus in the long run. And in the end, I'm going to combine the two together. I'm going to combine aggregate supply and aggregate demand together, so that I can analyze the short-run and long-run effects of shocks in the economy. So just as a quick summary, what we're going to do is I'm going to independently develop the aggregate demand model. उसके बाद मैं aggregate supply का model develop करूँगी, और आखिर में I'm going to combine the two models together to help understand what causes economic fluctuations in the economy and what can the government do to reduce such fluctuations. So in the next slide, you can see the real GDP growth rate in US for the year 1960 all the way to 2004. यहाँ GDP growth rates calculate हुई हैं. आपको याद होना चाहिए growth rates are always calculated in percentage form. So as long as GDP growth rate is positive, that means GDP is increasing in the economy. When GDP is negative, when GDP growth rate is negative, that means that GDP is declining in the economy, or the economy is experiencing economic recession. Growth rate निकालने का तरीका ये है कि it's going to be GDP in the current year minus the GDP in the previous year divided by the GDP in the previous year. तो आप अगर नोट करें, let's take this to be the focal point है. आप देख सकते हैं इस साल GDP हमारी जो है ना, it's around 2%, and in the next year it increases to around 8%. So that means GDP increase दोनों साल में हुई है, लेकिन from the previous year to this year, the rate of increase in GDP has also gone up. अगर GDP negative है, जैसा आप देख सकते हैं, अगर GDP growth rate negative है, जो कि आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ है, this means that we are experiencing a recession in the economy. Similarly, अगर आप इस पीरियड में नोट करें, आप देख सकते हैं इस साल GDP is down, it's actually more than 15%, and in the next year it falls to let's suppose 2%. तो इन दो सालों में, मतलब इस एक साल के दरमियान आप देख सकते हैं कि GDP पॉजिटिव है, लेकिन the growth rate, the rate of increase in GDP, that has slowed down. So मतलब कि here in both the periods the economy is experiencing economic boom. GDP positive है दोनों सालों में, लेकिन it's just कि the growth rate of GDP has actually decreased. So what you can see from this diagram is that there's a lot of short-run fluctuations in the economy. There are periods where GDP growth rate is increasing, then there are periods when it's declining, and then there's a period when GDP growth rate is negative. If I fit in a trend line through this figure, आप देख सकते हैं the average growth rate is around 3.4%, और इस average के around आप देख सकते हैं बहुत ज़्यादा fluctuations हैं. So इस particular chapter में I'm going to explain what results in these short-term fluctuations in the economy. Government क्या कर सकती है then to reduce these fluctuations in the economy. जो हम मॉडल डेवलप करेंगे, that is called the aggregate demand and aggregate supply model. So I also emphasized previously about the importance of time horizons in macroeconomics. In macroeconomics, time horizons are divided into the long run and the short run. And the way we define a long run is that in the long run, prices are taken to be flexible. That is, they respond to changes in supply or demand. Whereas in the short run, many prices are sticky at some predetermined level. शॉर्ट रन में टाइम पीरियड जो है ना इतना ज़्यादा नहीं होता for prices to be revised upward or downward. We assume that in the short run, because of the multiple reasons, prices are assumed to be sticky. So because of this, you would notice that the economy behaves very differently when prices are sticky, or in other words, economy is going to behave very differently in the short run and in the long run. जो हमने क्लासिकल मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक थ्योरी अभी तक हम पढ़ते चले आए हैं, whatever chapters that we have studied or whatever we have studied from chapters 3 to 4 that falls under the domain of classical theory. मैंने कुछ चैप्टर्स इसमें से स्किप किए हैं, मतलब फॉर एग्जांपल चैप्टर नंबर 5 हमने नहीं किया, फिर 7th और 8th भी मैंने स्किप कर दिया है. So all those chapters जो है ना, they fall under the classical theory. In those chapters, we assume that output is determined by supply. Output is determined by the supply side. That is, output is determined by capital, labor, technology. If you remember, हमने कहा था कि output is determined by the production function. So, Y was a function of capital and labor. आप देख सकते हैं इस प्रोडक्शन में कहीं भी प्राइस फीचर नहीं कर रहा. Price doesn't enter into this equation. We are assuming that in the long run, production in an economy would be determined by the amount of capital that the economy possesses, the amount of labor that the economy possesses, and it depends upon the technology, which is represented by the function of this production function. So complete price flexibility is a crucial assumption. So classical theory applies in the long run. But now we're going to study about the short run. Okay. So moving to the next slide. अब हम जो है ना, we're going to develop the Keynesian model. जो aggregate demand और aggregate supply का model है ना, it's called the Keynesian model. It helps explain what happens in the economy in the short run and in the long run. So ये जो paradigm है, जो model develop करेंगे, the paradigm that most mainstream economists and policymakers use to think about economic fluctuations and policies to stabilize the economy. So this model, it's a very popular model used by economists, policymakers to understand economic fluctuations and to devise policies which can be used to stabilize the economy or reduce these economic fluctuations. This model will show how price level and aggregate output are determined. And most importantly, it shows how economy behavior is different in the short run and in the long run. Okay. So now let's just start building this model. Now, okay, I need to move to the next slide. So जो है ना, let's just start building the Keynesian model, which is the aggregate demand and supply model. थोड़ा सा मैं background आपको दे दूं कि aggregate demand curve, it shows the relationship between price level and quantity of goods demanded. आपने microeconomics में भी demand curve, we talked about the demand curve of a product, we talked about the individual demand curve, we talked about the market demand curve. And we saw that those demand curves, they show the relationship between price of the product and the quantity of that product. Now we are talking about the aggregate economy. Here we are not talking about the price of a single commodity. We are talking about the aggregate price level. And जो quantity demanded की बात हो रही है, ये कि एक किसी product की quantity की बात नहीं हो रही. We are talking about the aggregate demand in the economy. ठीक है? Demand for all the products which are being produced in the economy. सो वही रिलेशनशिप है जो आपने माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स में पढ़ा था, बिटवीन द रिलेशनशिप between price and quantity demanded. As price increases, quantity demanded is going to decrease. A downward sloping relationship है, लेकिन इसके पीछे जो reasons हैं, they are little different. So for this particular chapter, we're going to introduce the aggregate demand and aggregate supply model. We use the simple theory of aggregate demand based on quantity theory of money. So in chapters 10 to 12, the next two chapters that we're going to study, they will develop the theory of aggregate demand in more detail. ये जो particular chapter है ना, it's basically an overview of the next two chapters that we're going to study. We're going to explain the aggregate demand model. We're going to explain the aggregate demand with the help of the quantity theory of money. So this is how the quantity theory of money looks like. आपको याद होगा chapter 4 में हमने ये पढ़ा था कि according to the quantity theory of money, M, which is the money supply times velocity, is equal to is price times the level of production in the economy. Okay, so this is P is actually the price per output, and Q and Y is actually the total output in the economy. So इस quantity theory of money से आप बहुत clearly देख सकते हैं, ठीक है कि given this quantity theory of money, you can clearly see that for given values of M and P, for a given value of M and for a given value of V. So if we assume that money supply and velocity are constant, there will exist an inverse relationship between price and Y. देखिए ये एक identity है. Left hand side of the equation should always be equal to the right hand side of the equation. अगर आप assume करें कि P is increasing, so this should be followed by decrease in Y in order to ensure that the left hand side of the equation is equal to the right hand side of the equation. I hope that's clear. अगर M और velocity को constant रखें, the increase in P must be followed by decrease in Y. Hence, an inverse relationship between aggregate price in the economy and aggregate demand in the economy. इसको आप एक और तरह भी देख सकते हैं. ये मैंने rearrange. I've simply rearranged the quantity theory of money here. What I've done is that this quantity theory of money, जो आप इधर equation देख रहे हैं yellow में highlighted, इसको हम इस तरह भी लिख सकते हैं. It's equal to is M divided by price is equal to is 1 divided by V times Y. Or in other words, it's going to be the real money balance is equal to is K times Y. K is a constant which is equal to is 1 divided by V. तो इस particular equation से भी आप बहुत clearly देख सकते हैं कि अगर price increases, okay? Price increase की बात हो रही है यहाँ. So let's suppose the price is increasing. Okay? ये मैंने यहाँ arrow insert कर दिया है. तो देखें जब price increase होगी, ये एक product की price की बात नहीं हो रही, aggregate prices की बात हो रही है. So if the aggregate price level increases, for a given M, the real money demand is going to decrease. ठीक है? Let's suppose आपकी जो तनख्वाह है वो 50,000 रुपए है, ठीक है? So M is let's suppose 50,000 rupees. Now और आप let's suppose उस 50,000 रुपयों से 10 चीजें खरीदते हैं, ठीक है? There are only 10 things that you buy with those 50,000 rupees. Now let's suppose कि prices बढ़ जाती हैं. Now when the price is going to increase, वही 50,000 rupees will now buy less goods and services. ऐसा ही है ना, 50,000 पहले मतलब with the same 50,000 rupees you could buy more of those 10 commodities, but now with the same 50,000 rupees you can buy less of those 10 commodities. ठीक है? Quantity जो आप खरीदते हैं उन 10 commodities की वो अब आपको कम करनी पड़ेगी. So that means that why this is going to decrease as a result. ठीक है? आपके जो sales हैं that is going to या आउटपुट है या आपकी जो सेल्स हैं, दैट इज गोइंग टू फॉल एज अ रिजल्ट, हेंस द नेगेटिव रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन प्राइस एंड वाई. ओके, ये चीज आपकी नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में भी यहाँ एक्सप्लेन की गई है. एन इंक्रीज इन प्राइस कॉजेज अ फॉल इन द रियल मनी बैलेंस. ठीक है, अगर प्राइसेस बढ़ेंगी तो आप उसी पैसे से अब कम चीजें खरीद सकेंगे, यानी Y is going to decrease as a result, causing decrease in the demand for goods and services, hence a downward sloping aggregate demand curve. So aggregate demand जो है ना, मैंने पहले भी कहा था, it simply captures the relationship between the aggregate price level and the aggregate output or aggregate demand which is represented by Y. जैसे आपने डिमांड कर्व पढ़ा था इन माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स, वहां भी डिमांड कर्व डाउनवर्ड स्लोपिंग था, यहाँ भी जो है ना डिमांड कर्व इज डाउनवर्ड स्लोपिंग. सो द रीजन for this downward sloping demand curve can be derived from the quantity theory of money that we have just seen, but there can be other reasons which can result in a downward sloping aggregate demand curve. वो reasons जो है मैंने यहाँ आइडेंटिफाई कुछ reasons यहाँ आइडेंटिफाई किए हैं. If you recall, the total demand for goods and services, or the total expenditure on goods and services, is represented by this national incomes account identity, which we derived to be that aggregate demand, or Y is the total demand for goods and services, is equal to is your consumption demand, investment demand, plus the government expenditure, plus net exports. So डाउनवर्ड स्लोपिंग डिमांड कर्व की कुछ और वजूहात भी हो सकती हैं. Now, and those reasons can be identified with the help of this national income account identity, which you can see in this, which has been typed in this red, red में ये टाइप कर दिया है. तो देखिए, अगर हम ये एक्सप्लेन कर दें कि प्राइस के अगर कम ज़्यादा होने से अगर कंजम्पशन, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर प्राइस कम हो रही है और कंजम्पशन इंक्रीज कर रही है, दैट मींस Y इज गोइंग टू इंक्रीज. और अगर प्राइस कम हो रही है एंड इफ वी प्रूव कि इन्वेस्टमेंट बढ़ती है, दैट अगेन विल प्रूव दैट Y इज गोइंग टू इंक्रीज. Similarly, if we can prove that price के कम होने से net exports increase होती है, तो that will in turn imply that aggregate demand is going to increase. So, all these 3 points are going to reinforce the fact that there exists a negative relationship between price and aggregate demand. Now, how this works is as follows. Another reason, देखिए एक reason आप याद रखें कि the quantity theory of money, it can explain why aggregate demand curve is downward sloping. Now I'm trying to identify some other reasons which can also result in a downward sloping aggregate demand curve. And that other reason, पहला reason हम कह सकते हैं the consumption effect. Yeah. Okay, let me just explain the consumption effect here. Okay, let me just explain it over here, that space here. देखिए, let's suppose price is increasing, right? Now, if I can just insert this arrow here, okay. Price increases. As a result, what happens is that your real wealth is going to decrease. Yeah, it's going to be much easier if we think from the perspective of price decrease. ठीक है, प्राइस इंक्रीज की बजाय प्राइस डिक्रीज के हवाले से हम सोचते हैं. ओके, सो व्हेन देयर इज अ प्राइस डिक्रीज, so as a result, what will happen is that your real wealth is going to decrease. Okay. I can delete this and let me just try this again. Okay, so we are saying कि price increase हो रही है. मैं चलिए टाइप ही कर लेती हूँ. It's much easier because then I don't have to switch between different modes. Price increase जब होती है तो मैं कह रही हूँ कि आपकी जो real wealth है that is going to decrease as a result. अच्छा ये मैंने फिर वही गलती की है. प्राइस डिक्रीज के हवाले से बात करते हैं. प्राइस डिक्रीज जब होती है दैट मीन्स दैट द रियल वेल्थ इज गोइंग टू इंक्रीज. ओके, व्हाई इज दैट द केस? वही चीज जो मैंने आपको पहले एक्सप्लेन की. आप 50,000 रुपए का मतलब यू अर्निंग 50,000 rupees. If the overall price level decreases, with the same 50,000 rupees, you can buy more goods and services. So that means your real wealth is going to increase. As a result, consumption increases. And finally, as a result, Y is going to increase. Okay? So देखिए, this completes the picture. आप देख सकते हैं प्राइस के कम होने से एग्रीगेट डिमांड में इजाफा हो रहा है. So hence proven that aggregate demand is going to be downward sloping. There exists a negative relationship between price and aggregate demand. Similarly, अब प्राइस इंक्रीज के हवाले से भी यही लॉजिक अप्लाई कर सकते थे कि जब प्राइस इंक्रीज होता है तो योर रियल वेल्थ इज गोइंग टू डिक्रीज एज अ रिजल्ट, एंड consequently consumption is going to decrease, which means Y is going to decrease. ठीक है, आप ये देख सकते हैं ना कि C और Y का डायरेक्ट रिलेशनशिप है, यानी पॉजिटिव रिलेशनशिप है. अगर कंजम्पशन अगर आप देख सकते हैं कि if C increases, Y is going to increase. If C decreases, Y will decrease. So we have just explained the chain of events as to what happens when price decreases. तो aggregate demand पे उसका क्या असर होना चाहिए. And इसको कहते हैं the consumption effect. Okay. Similarly, interest rate और aggregate demand का जो relationship है, यानी I और Y के दरमियान जो relationship है, because of change in the price level, that is captured by the interest rate effect. And the relationship between net exports and Y because of change in price level, that is referred to as the exchange rate effect. Exchange rate effect को समझना जो है ना वो it's relatively easier. So I'll just start off with this. Okay. I just don't want to do that. Okay, I would like to explain the exchange rate effect now. अच्छा नहीं, इसको मैं यहाँ एक्सप्लेन कर देती हूँ, बाद में मैं डिलीट कर दूंगी क्योंकि बहुत मेसी हो रहा है. Okay, so let's suppose price decreases. ठीक होगा. As a result, what will happen? ये मैं एरो बना रही हूँ. ठीक है. When price decreases, the relative prices are going to decrease. यानी our prices vis-a-vis the prices in the foreign countries are going to decrease. हमारी जो चीजें सस्ती होंगी, what will happen is that exports are going to increase. When export increases, you can see that as a result, net exports will increase. और equation से बड़ा साफ जाहिर है कि when net exports increases, Y is going to increase. Right? So we have completed the chain of events here. देखो price decrease से हमने शुरू किया था and I have ended up explaining कि जब price decrease करती है तो net exports increase करेगा जिसकी वजह से Y increase करेगा. So again I have established a negative relationship between price and net exports. So this is called the exchange rate effect. So exchange rate effect can also explain the downward sloping aggregate demand curve. और जो ये जो effect रह गया था interest rate effect, let me just explain that now. So for this particular since I'm running out of space to write, so let me just rub a few things. Oh, I need to pick the eraser now. Okay, now I would like to explain the interest rate effect. Just अच्छा चले इसको मैं यहाँ एक्सप्लेन कर देती हूँ. अच्छा, हमने चैप्टर नंबर 4 में मनी रियल मनी डिमांड का फंक्शन डिराइव किया था, अगर आपको याद हो, और हमने कहा था कि मनी डिमांड, रियल मनी डिमांड, इट्स अ फंक्शन, L basically is a function of interest rate and Y. And we established that there exists a negative relationship between interest rate and real money demand and a positive relationship between Y and real money demand. Okay? Equilibrium में क्या होना चाहिए कि real money demand should equal the real money supply. So in other words, M divided by P, let me just do it in capital. हम कह रहे हैं कि जो real money supply है, in equilibrium, it should equal to the real money demand. Okay? मुझे पता है कि real money demand is equal to is this function here. So I can make my life easier. और real money demand की बजाय, let me just fit in this function. Okay? I and Y. अब आप खुद ही देख सकते हैं. अच्छा, ये मैं इसका फॉन्ट थोड़ा सा कम कर देती हूँ कि ये एक ही लाइन में आ जाए, फिर it's going to be easier for you to see. थोड़ा छोटा हो गया, but anyway I think it's going to make the point that I'm trying to make clearer. अच्छा देखिए, अब हो ये रहा है कि when P decreases, so you can see that when P decreases, what happens to the real money supply? This is going to increase as a result. ठीक है, P के कम होने से, so I'm saying P is decreasing here. As a result, what will happen is, देखो denominator term छोटा हो रहा है ना, तो M divided by P, this entire thing that you see over here, it is going to increase as a result. Okay, देखिए मैं कह रही हूँ, ये जो P के कम होने से ये जो M divided by P है, this is going to increase as a result. Now, what should happen on the right hand side of the equation so that both the equation जो है ना, both the sides जो है ना, they equalize? तो यहाँ होगा ये, in order to maintain identity, in order to maintain that right hand side is equal to its left hand side of the equation, I will have to play an important role. I जो है ना, as a result, in this, this is going to decrease. ठीक है, इंटरेस्ट रेट कम हो जाएंगे. जब इंटरेस्ट रेट कम हो जाते हैं तो मनी डिमांड इज गोइंग टू इंक्रीज. ठीक है, सो एज अ रिजल्ट द राइट हैंड साइड ऑफ द इक्वेशन इज इक्वल टू द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड ऑफ द इक्वेशन. ओके, नाउ दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. मैं इसको एक दफा दोबारा रिपीट कर देती हूँ. देखिए, हमने कहानी शुरू यहाँ से करनी है कि price is going to decrease. When price decreases, the real money supply is going to increase. In other words, right hand side is the left hand side of the equation is going to increase. अब कुछ ऐसा आपने करना है the left hand side of the equation कि वो भी उसी मिकदार से increase हो जाए. तो ये आप इस तरह कर सकते हैं. One easy way of doing this is by decreasing the interest rate. जब interest rate कम होता है, money demand is going to increase. क्यों ऐसा होता है? अगर आपको याद हो, देखें, जब इंटरेस्ट रेट कम होता है, जब आपके इंटरेस्ट बेयरिंग डिपॉजिट जो है वो आपको कम इंटरेस्ट दे रहा हो, तो पीपल वुड प्रेफर टू rather hold money than put the money in those interest bearing deposits, right? So money demand is going to increase as a result. इसीलिए मैंने आपको explain किया था that there exists a negative relationship between interest rate and money demand. तो यहाँ तक आई होप आपको समझ आ गया है कि प्राइस के कम होने से इंटरेस्ट रेट में कमी आएगी। जब इंटरेस्ट रेट कम होता है, लेट मी जस्ट देन यूज द फ्री हैंड, जब इंटरेस्ट रेट कम होता है, investment is going to increase as a result. Do you remember that there exists a negative relationship between interest rate and investment? जब interest rate कम होता है, यानी if the cost of borrowing funds decreases, more people are going to withdraw money from the bank for investment purposes. So investment is going to increase, and when investment is going to increase, you can see from the diagram here, अगर investment बढ़ेगी, ये चीज अगर बढ़ती है, तो Y is going to increase as a result. So as a result, Y is going to increase. ठीक है, सो कहानी मुकम्मल हो गई। अब आप इसको शुरू से नोट करें कि क्या हो रहा था। हमने कहानी शुरू इस तरह की थी कि प्राइस कम हो रही है, तो आप देख सकते हैं प्राइस कम होने की वजह से एग्रीगेट डिमांड इज गोइंग टू इंक्रीज। So again, we have established a negative relationship between price and aggregate demand. So just let me just summarize what I've said so far. अभी तक मैंने 4 reasons identify किए हैं which can explain why aggregate demand is downward sloping. इस particular chapter में ज़्यादा emphasis जो क्वांटिटी थ्योरी को दिया गया है, उन्होंने क्वांटिटी थ्योरी ऑफ मनी के थ्रू एक्सप्लेन किया है कि एग्रीगेट डिमांड इज गोइंग टू बी डाउनवर्ड स्लोपिंग। एंड फॉर्मूला, क्वांटिटी थ्योरी का अगर फॉर्मूला देखें तो बहुत क्लियरली आपको नजर आ जाएगा कि अगर प्राइस में इंक्रीज होगा तो फॉर अ गिवन वैल्यू ऑफ एम एंड वी y must decrease. So that is one explanation for a downward sloping aggregate demand curve. मैंने 3 मजीद आपको एक्सप्लेनेशन दी हैं। मैंने कहा कि एग्रीगेट डिमांड कर्व डाउनवर्ड स्लोपिंग कैन आल्सो बी एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ कंजम्पशन इफेक्ट, इंटरेस्ट रेट इफेक्ट एंड एक्सचेंज रेट इफेक्ट। कंजम्पशन इफेक्ट क्या कहता है? जस्ट लेट मी जस्ट क्विकली समराइज इट। प्राइस अगर कम होगी, कंजम्पशन ज्यादा होगी, y is going to increase as a result. इंटरेस्ट रेट इफेक्ट क्या कहता है कि अगर प्राइस कम होगी, इंटरेस्ट रेट ज्यादा होगा, जिसकी वजह से इन्वेस्टमेंट ज्यादा होगी, एंड एज ए रिजल्ट वाई इज गोइंग टू इंक्रीज। एक्सचेंज रेट इफेक्ट एक्सचेंज रेट इफेक्ट क्या कहता है? प्राइस कम होती है तो हमारी चीजें फॉरेनर्स के लिए सस्ती हो जाएंगी, नेट एक्सपोर्ट इज गोइंग टू इंक्रीज, दैट इज वाई इज गोइंग टू इंक्रीज एज ए रिजल्ट। देखो, ये जितनी भी मैंने आपको रीजनिंग दी है, मैंने कहानी शुरू की है प्राइस के कम होने से या प्राइस के ज्यादा होने से भी आप यही लॉजिक जो है ना वो रिपीट कर सकते हैं। सो व्हेन प्राइस इज डिक्रीजिंग, एग्रीगेट डिमांड इज गोइंग टू इंक्रीज। व्हेन प्राइस इज गोइंग टू इंक्रीज, एग्रीगेट डिमांड इज गोइंग टू डिक्रीज। ठीक है? अच्छा, अब आपके दिमाग में ये भी चीज आ रही होगी कि जी के बारे में हम क्या कह सकते हैं? हो सकता है कि प्राइस के कम ज्यादा होने से जी चेंजेस व्हिच कैन इन टर्न अफेक्ट वाई, बट द थिंग इज जी जो है ना मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम, और द गवर्नमेंट स्पेंडिंग मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम इज डिटरमिन्ड बाय पॉलिटिकल प्रोसेस। जी को मतलब अगर प्राइसेस कम ज्यादा हो भी जाए तो जी में शायद हम इतना फर्क ना देखें, बिकॉज गवर्नमेंट एक्सपेंडिचर इज समथिंग व्हिच इज डिटरमिन्ड इन द बजट। मतलब इट हैज वो पॉलिटिकल प्रोसेस से जी डिटरमिन होता है, इसलिए हम जी को यहाँ नहीं छेड़ रहे हैं। हम कह रहे हैं कि प्राइस के कम ज्यादा होने से शायद जी पे कोई खास असर ना पड़े, and as a result y will not change. Okay, so इस इक्वेशन में मैंने जी को जो है ना अभी फिलहाल आई एम सेइंग कि प्राइस के कम ज्यादा होने से जी पे कोई असर नहीं पड़ेगा एंड हेंस वाई पे कोई असर नहीं पड़ेगा। सो आई एम स्टिकिंग टू 4 रीजंस व्हाई एग्रीगेट डिमांड कर्व इज डाउनवर्ड स्लोपिंग. So in the next particular part, I'm going to explain what can result in then shifts in the aggregate demand and aggregate supply curve.